Good day, everyone. I want to remind you of something powerful. Tough times are not meant to break you, they are meant to reveal you. In the midst of crisis, it is easy to feel lost, as if the ground beneath you has shifted and everything familiar has vanished. This is where the rediscovery of purpose becomes not just essential, but life-saving. Purpose is more than a goal or an ambition. It is the reason you exist. Dr. Myles Munroe often said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. This truth applies just as powerfully to people as it does to objects. When you lose touch with your purpose, you become vulnerable to despair, fear, and distractions that waste your energy and potential. Rediscovering your purpose is the first and most important step in surviving tough times because it reorients your entire mindset. Your purpose gives you clarity when confusion surrounds you. It reminds you that no matter what is happening around you, there is something within you that remains unshaken. Tough times have a way of stripping away the superficial titles, possessions, positions, and revealing the core of who you are. It is in these moments that you must ask yourself, why am I here? That question is not philosophical, it is practical. The answer becomes your compass. When you operate with a sense of divine or deeply rooted purpose, you stop reacting and start leading. You begin to view problems not as obstacles, but as opportunities to express who you are and what you were born to do. Purpose gives your suffering meaning and transforms your pain into a platform. Instead of collapsing under the weight of your situation, you stand up under it because you know your life has value beyond what you're going through. This process of rediscovery may require silence. It may require separating yourself from the noise and distractions that cloud your vision. You. It may even mean letting go of false identities or misguided ambitions. But once you reconnect with your original purpose, the one placed in you before life began to shape you, you gain a new kind of power. A quiet, unshakable resolve begins to form. You begin to live from the inside out rather than from the outside in. Purpose is what wakes you up in the morning when you feel like staying in bed. It's what keeps you moving forward when everything in your life seems to be going backward. It's what allows you to endure suffering without losing hope. Rediscovering your purpose is not a one-time event. It is a daily decision. In fact, the darker the times, the more fiercely you must cling to it. Because when you know your why, you can survive any what. In times of trouble, one of the first casualties is vision. When life becomes chaotic, when the bills are overdue, the job is lost, the is lost, the relationship ends, or the doctor delivers bad news, easy for your focus to shrink until all you can see is what's immediately is what's immediately right. Anxiety narrows your imagination. You become so consumed with survival that you forget the reason you were living in the first place. But if you want to survive tough times, you must learn to maintain a vision that stretches beyond the moment. This is not about ignoring reality. It's about refusing to be ruled by it. Vision is the ability to see not just where you are, but where you're going. It allows you to operate with future-minded clarity in a present full of confusion. Dr. Myles Munroe emphasized that vision is the key to leadership and direction. Even in crisis, you are still leading your life, and your life needs direction now more than ever. A compelling vision becomes your internal GPS. It reminds you that your current situation is not your final destination. You may be walking through the valley, but your eyes are set on the mountaintop. Vision helps you to rise above temporary pain and refocus on permanent purpose. It turns despair into determination. When you have vision, you can endure seasons of lack because you are focused on the abundance that is to come. You can take losses without losing yourself because your eyes are fixed on something bigger, something greater, something yet to be fulfilled. This kind of vision requires discipline. It requires the ability to look through spiritual eyes, not just physical ones. It means you don't allow the crisis to define your reality. You allow your faith, your goals, and your purpose to define it. In a storm, the person with vision becomes the stabilizing force. While others panic, the visionary plans. While others mourn what they've lost, the visionary starts building what's next. Holding on to vision in hard times also means protecting it. Not everyone around you will see what you see. You must guard your mind against voices that speak only of defeat and impossibility. Your dreams, your goals, your calling, write them down. Speak them aloud. Feed your vision with hope and discipline because whatever you feed will grow. And know this, the crisis may delay your vision, but it does not have the power to cancel it unless you surrender it. Many of history's greatest achievements were born in adversity. In fact, it's in the wilderness that vision is refined. What once was just an idea becomes a conviction. What once was a wish becomes a plan. Vision is the antidote to despair. It is the light that keeps you moving forward when everything around you is dark. And the greater the storm, the more fiercely you must hold on to it. In times of crisis, your belief system becomes your battlefield. It is not your bank account, your health, or your job that will ultimately determine whether you survive. It is what you believe in the midst of loss, fear, and uncertainty that shapes your response, your mindset, and your future. Dr. Myles Munroe often taught that belief is not just a religious word. It is the foundation of all behavior. What you believe about yourself, your situation, your God, and your destiny will dictate how you interpret events, make decisions, and sustain hope. If your beliefs are broken, your life will follow. But if your beliefs are rooted in truth, strength, and vision, you can endure anything life throws at you. Controlling your belief system means taking authority over your internal dialogue. It means refusing to let fear dominate your thoughts. Fear dominate your soul. When everything around you is crumbling, when the news is filled with gloom, and when people speak doubt into your ears, you must have the inner strength to declare, this is not the end. I still believe. That belief is your power source. It feeds your resilience and keeps your soul alive when the world tries to bury it. Beliefs are not passive, they are powerful. If you believe that you're a victim, you'll act like one. If you believe that your best days are behind you, you'll never reach for tomorrow. But if you believe that your life has meaning, that you were created with purpose, and that your story is not finished yet, you'll find a way to keep going even when it hurts. Your belief system also shapes your perspective. Two people can go through the same storm. One emerges bitter and broken, while the other comes out wiser and stronger. The difference is not what happened to them. It's what they believed while it was happening. One believed the storm would destroy them. The other believed the storm would develop them. What do you believe? To control your belief system, you must intentionally feed it. Read books that build your faith. Listen to voices that lift your soul. Speak affirmations over your life daily. Refuse to let negativity become your language. You cannot survive a crisis speaking the language of defeat. Your words must align with your beliefs, and your beliefs must align with your vision and purpose. Crises are faith tests. They expose whether your beliefs were surface level or deeply rooted. So, this is where shallow convictions fall apart. But those who have built their lives on truth stand firm. It's not about ignoring reality, it's about interpreting reality through a higher lens. You may be facing a setback, but your belief system says it's a setup for something greater. You may be grieving loss, but your belief system reminds you that healing and restoration are possible. Controlling your belief system means taking personal responsibility for what you allow into your mind and heart. You cannot always control your circumstances, but you can always control your interpretation of them. You can choose faith over fear. You can choose hope over despair. You can choose action over paralysis. You are not what you are going through. You are what you believe through it, through it, through it. And that belief becomes the anchor that holds you steady when the winds of life try to blow you away. Change is one of life's most consistent and unavoidable forces. Yet in times of crisis, it often feels like an enemy, a sudden, uncontrollable disruption that sweeps away our routines, comfort zones, and plans. It creates uncertainty, and with uncertainty comes fear. But if you are going to survive, and more importantly, grow through tough times, you must make a crucial shift. You must stop resisting change and start embracing it as an opportunity. Dr. Myles Munroe taught that crisis is often a signal for change. It doesn't come to destroy, but to challenge your stagnation. Many times, the life we cling to so tightly is too small for the destiny we are called to. And so, crisis becomes the catalyst that pushes us into the next phase of who we were meant to be. The loss of a job, the breakdown of a relationship, the end of a season, these are painful disruptions, but they can also be divine appointments in disguise. To embrace change as opportunity means to adjust your mindset. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Where is this trying to take me? That shift in perspective turns chaos into clarity. It allows you to see that within every problem lies potential, and within every ending lies the seed of a new beginning. Change is the environment where growth is forced to happen. Muscles are not strengthened without resistance. Seeds do not become trees without breaking through the soil. In the same way, you cannot become who you were designed to be by staying where you are comfortable. The greatest versions of yourself are often hidden behind walls of discomfort and transition. Tough times pull down those walls. They break your routine, challenge your assumptions, and demand that you evolve. Embracing change requires courage. Courage. It means walking into the unknown without a guarantee, but with faith that purpose is leading the way. It means letting go of old identities, outdated methods, and unhealthy attachments. It requires you to be flexible, to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing yourself. You become a student of your situation, not a victim of it. You begin to see the pieces of your disrupted life, not as fragments to mourn, but as raw materials for reinvention. This doesn't mean the process is easy. Change can be painful, messy, and unpredictable. But just like a caterpillar must go through the darkness of the cocoon to become a butterfly, you must go through seasons of uncertainty to emerge stronger, wiser, and more refined. If you resist the change, you risk staying trapped in a lesser version of yourself. If you embrace it, you position yourself for transformation. Opportunity often comes dressed in the clothes of adversity. What looks like a setback may actually be a setup for something greater. What feels like loss may be making room for something new. The world around you may be shifting, but you get to decide whether you are shrinking or expanding in response. That decision, to see change as a gift rather than a curse, can determine your entire trajectory. Change is not just a condition to survive. It is a platform to innovate, to reset your priorities, and to discover abilities you didn't know you had. It invites you to reconsider your values, revisit your goals, and reimagine your future. The ones who thrive in life are not those who avoid change, but those who master the art of turning change into momentum. In the face of crisis, emotions run high, routines are disrupted, and pressure intensifies. These are the very moments when your ability to practice discipline and self-control becomes not just important, but essential for survival and success. While the world may be swirling confusion and chaos, the person who maintains discipline gains a rare and powerful advantage: stability from within. Dr. Myles Munroe often emphasized that crisis doesn't develop character, it reveals it. What you do consistently when times are good will determine how well you endure when times are bad. Discipline is the bridge between your potential and your purpose. It is the quiet strength behind every success story. In fact, the difference between people who collapse under pressure and those who rise through it is often the presence or absence of discipline. Discipline begins with decisions. In tough times, the temptation is to react emotionally, to escape into distractions, or to indulge in habits that bring temporary relief but long-term damage. But those who survive and thrive understand this. Feelings are not foundations. You must do what is necessary, not what is easy. That means choosing to get up even when you feel like staying in bed. It means creating a routine when the world around you feels unpredictable. It means training your thoughts, your time, and your actions to align with your goals rather than your mood. Self-control is the companion of discipline. It is the ability to say no to what's harmful and yes to what's helpful, even when no one is watching. In times of scarcity or stress, it's easy to give in to fear-based decisions, overspending, overeating, overthinking. But self-control keeps you grounded. It reminds you that control begins within. If you cannot govern yourself, you will always be at the mercy of your circumstances. Discipline touches every area of life. How you manage your time, your finances, your health, your relationships, and your thoughts. In crisis, you may lose some control over external factors, but your internal governance must remain intact. Discipline says, I will not let this situation make me irresponsible. I will not let this moment break my focus or corrupt my values. It's not about being rigid. It's about being intentional. Amati, it's about protecting your progress and investing in your future, even when progress feels slow and the future feels uncertain. In fact, crisis is an opportunity to refine your discipline. When resources are limited, you learn to prioritize. When time feels heavy, you learn to schedule wisely. When emotions rise, you learn to respond rather than react. These are not restrictions, they are strengths. Discipline doesn't limit your freedom, it creates it. It gives you the power to choose growth over regression, vision over panic, and purpose over pleasure. Cultivating discipline and self-control also involves removing the things that sabotage your focus. May mean cutting off distractions, turning off social media, distancing yourself from toxic influences, or creating boundaries around your time and energy. You must guard your atmosphere if you want to guard your mind. Discipline is not about perfection, but about consistent progress. It's the daily decision to show up for yourself, to commit to the process, and to refuse to let your circumstances dictate your behavior. Circumstances dictate your behavior. And as you cultivate these habits in the hard times, you begin to build inner strength that lasts far beyond the crisis. You become someone who doesn't just survive storms, but who emerges with deeper character, sharper focus, and greater resilience. Discipline is not flashy, but it is powerful. It doesn't always feel rewarding in the moment, but it always bears fruit in time. In times of crisis, when resources are strained and emotions are raw, one of the most overlooked yet precious assets you have is time. Unlike money, health, or material possessions, time cannot be recovered once it is spent. It is constantly moving forward, silently slipping through your hands. That is why, especially in tough times, you must learn to value time like never before, because how you use your time in the valley will determine how quickly and how powerfully you rise from it. Dr. Myles Munroe often said, "The wealthiest place on earth is the cemetery because it's filled with dreams never pursued, books never written, and visions never fulfilled." Much of that unrealized potential was lost because people mismanaged time. In crisis, the temptation is to waste time on worry, procrastination, and escapism. But those who truly value time understand that every minute holds purpose, every hour carries opportunity. Even in hardship, time can be your ally if you use it wisely. Valuing time means becoming conscious of where your hours are going. It's not enough to be busy. Busyness is not the same as productivity. You must examine your daily habits and ask yourself, is this activity contributing to my healing, my growth, my vision, or my calling? If not, it may be time to eliminate or adjust it. When you begin to treat time as a sacred resource, you start living with intention rather than impulse. In difficult seasons, your time becomes your investment. Every hour can be sown into something meaningful, learning a new skill, deepening your faith, improving your mental health, nurturing a relationship, or working toward a goal. Crisis may change your schedule, but it doesn't cancel your purpose. When you see time as your seed, you become a wise steward of each day. Even a small step taken consistently over time creates momentum that can outlast any storm. Valuing time also means refusing to live in the past or obsess over the future. Hmm. Worrying about what has already happened or fearing what might happen robs today of its power. Your strength lies in the present moment. What can you do now? Who can you encourage now? Who can you encourage now? What can you build now? This mindset frees you from paralysis and empowers you to act, even in small but meaningful ways. Another critical aspect of honoring time is rest and reflection. Valuing time does not mean overworking yourself or filling every second with activity. It means using time with purpose, and sometimes that purpose is rest. In quietness and reflection, you gain clarity. In rest, you recharge. In solitude, you reconnect with your inner voice and with God. God, these moments of stillness are not wasted. They are vital for discernment and strength. When you value time, you also begin to value life more deeply. You become selective about who and what you give your energy to. You stop tolerating toxic conversations, meaningless entertainment, and activities that drain you. You understand that time is a non-renewable resource, and you begin to align your schedule with your standards, your values, and your vision. People who survive and rise through crisis are not necessarily the smartest or the strongest. They are the ones who respect time. They don't wait for the storm to pass before they start building. They use the time during the storm to prepare, to sharpen their tools, to grow in wisdom, and to strengthen their character. Every second counts because every second is life. And when you realize that, you stop letting crisis steal your time and you start reclaiming it for your purpose. When the storms of life come, whether financial hardship, loss, betrayal, or uncertainty, what holds you together is not what you have on the outside, but what you are built upon on the inside. In times of crisis, people often search for stability. They look for something secure, something unshakable. And there is nothing more stabilizing, more grounding, more life-sustaining than a strong spiritual foundation. Dr. Myles Munroe consistently taught that man is not the body with a spirit, but a spirit in a body. That means your true essence, your deepest strength comes not from what you possess, but from your connection to your Creator. When everything else fails, when money runs out, people walk away and plans fall apart, it is your relationship with God that anchors you. It is your spiritual life that keeps you standing when life tries to knock you down. Building a strong spiritual foundation does not begin in crisis. It is developed before crisis, but it becomes most visible during crisis. Like the foundation of a house, it may not be seen, but it holds everything else together. When that foundation is strong, you can weather even the most violent storms. When it is weak, the smallest trouble can bring your world crashing down. To build this foundation, you must prioritize your spiritual disciplines: prayer, meditation, studying the word, worship, and stillness stills before God. These are not religious rituals, they are lifelines. They are the ways you connect with divine wisdom, peace, and power. In tough times, your natural strength will reach its limit, your emotions will fluctuate, your thoughts may betray you, but your spirit, when anchored in God, will remain steady. A strong spiritual foundation also provides clarity in chaos. It helps you discern truth from lies, direction from distraction. It helps you distinguish what is urgent from what is important. You stop reacting impulsively and begin responding with wisdom. You develop a sense of divine timing and begin to understand that there is purpose even in your pain. That kind of understanding brings peace, peace that surpasses human understanding, the kind that guards your heart and mind when the pressure is intense. Spiritual strength doesn't mean you won't feel fear or grief. It means those emotions won't control you. You acknowledge them, but you don't live by them. You are guide them. You are guide faith, not fear. You understand that your life is not defined by if it's not defined your life is situation, but by the one who will pray for you. But today, this realization births confidence, not arrogance, but a quiet, unwavering confidence that says, and no matter what comes, I know who is with me. Your spiritual foundation also becomes a source of wisdom for practical living. The principles found in Scripture, faith, patience, integrity, love, perseverance, are not abstract ideas. They are tools for survival and success. They help you manage relationships, make sound decisions, maintain emotional stability, and resist the urge to compromise your values when you are under pressure. Moreover, spirituality provides community. It connects you with others who share your values, and who can support you when you feel weak. Tough times are not meant to be walked through alone. A strong spiritual life draws you into deeper fellowship with God and with others, and this fellowship becomes a source of encouragement, accountability, and strength. In times of crisis, the spiritual dimension becomes more than a comfort. It becomes a necessity. Without it, people often spiral into hopelessness, grasping at temporary fixes that do not satisfy. But with a strong spiritual foundation, you can face any circumstance with a sense of purpose and power. You can stand firm, not because everything is perfect around you, but because something eternal is steady within you. In the midst of tough times, your mind becomes the battleground. It is where fear is planted, where doubt is cultivated, and where defeat either takes root or is uprooted. Guarding your mind is not optional, it is essential. The quality of your thoughts will determine the direction of your life, especially during seasons of crisis. As Dr. Myles Munroe often said, you cannot live beyond the limits of your thoughts. If your mind is not protected, your future is vulnerable. To guard your mind diligently means to take responsibility for what you allow to enter and dwell in your mental space. Thoughts are like seeds. If nurtured, they grow and eventually produce fruit, whether good or bad. In a crisis, negative thoughts come easily. Fear, anxiety, regret, guilt, and hopelessness can flood your mind like a torrent. But you have the authority to choose which thoughts you will allow to remain and which you must cast out. The first step in guarding your mind is to become aware of your thought patterns. This requires stillness and reflection. What are you thinking about most often? What are you telling yourself about your situation, your identity, and your future? Are your thoughts building you up or tearing you down? Are they rooted in faith or in fear? If your inner dialogue is toxic, it's only a matter of time before your behavior and emotions follow. Guarding your mind also means managing your intake. In difficult times, people often consume large amounts of information, much of it negative or fear-driven. News reports, social media, gossip, and even well-meaning conversations can fill your mind with noise, confusion, and despair. You must become selective about what you read, what you watch, and who you listen to. Not everything that enters your mind deserves to stay there. You must filter every message through the lens of truth, purpose, and peace. Another key to guarding your mind is meditation on what is pure, positive, and powerful. As Scripture teaches, whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. Think about such things. This is not about denial of reality, but about training your mind to stay grounded in what strengthens you rather than what weakens you. When your mind is filled with truth, you gain perspective. You begin to see not just what's happening to you, but what can happen through you. Affirmations, declarations, and the Word of God are powerful tools in this process. When you speak life over yourself, when you remind your mind who you are and whose you are, you interrupt the cycle of fear and replace it with faith, with faith, with faith. You begin to shift your internal climate, and that shift impacts your external behavior. A guarded mind becomes a focused mind, and a focused mind becomes a powerful force in times of adversity. Guarding your mind also includes managing your imagination. In times of pressure, your imagination can either be your enemy or your ally. Left unchecked, it can spiral into worst-case scenarios, fueling anxiety and despair. But when trained and guarded, your imagination can help you envision solutions, dream beyond your present circumstances, and stay anchored in hope. You must train your imagination to serve your vision, not sabotage it. Finally, guarding your mind involves surrounding yourself with the right people. The conversations you engage in, the energy you absorb from others, the advice you accept, all of these shape your mental environment. Choose to be around people who speak life, who challenge your thinking, who call out your strength, and who help you stay aligned with your purpose. Stay aligned with your purpose. Your mind cannot thrive in a toxic atmosphere. It needs nourishment, encouragement, and wisdom in difficult seasons. The people around you can either be your greatest support or your greatest burden. Who you allow into your personal space during times of hardship has a profound effect on your ability to endure, recover, and eventually rise stronger. Dr. Myles Munroe emphasized that relationships are not neutral. They either take you closer to your purpose or pull you further from it. That's why during tough times, it is absolutely vital to surround yourself with the right people. The right people are not just those who make you feel good. They are those who speak truth, wisdom, and encouragement into your life when you need it most. They don't feed your fears, they fuel your faith. They don't enable your pity, they challenge your potential. These individuals become pillars of strength when you feel weak, voices of clarity when your vision becomes blurred, and mirrors that remind you of who you are when circumstances try to redefine you. In seasons of adversity, isolation may feel tempting. You may want to withdraw, believing that no one understands or that you must carry your burden alone. But isolation is dangerous during crisis. It can give space for negative thoughts to grow unchecked, for discouragement to deepen, and for hopelessness to take root. Human beings were created for connection, meaningful, purpose-driven connection. Surrounding yourself with the right people is not a luxury, it is a necessity. These right people are not always many in number. Sometimes it's just a few close voices, a mentor, a friend, a family member, a spiritual leader who help you stay grounded. They provide perspective when you're overwhelmed. Them, they remind you of past victories when you feel defeated. They hold you accountable when you feel like giving up. And they offer practical support, helping you make wise decisions when your emotions are high and your energy is low. It's also important to understand that the right people bring the right atmosphere. They carry a spirit of faith, positivity, and discipline that rubs off on you. Their presence alone can shift your mindset, just like toxic people can drain you mentally and emotionally. Wise and life-giving people can recharge you. You start to think differently, act differently, and even believe differently simply by walking closely with those who carry strength and stability. At the same time, tough seasons are the perfect time to reevaluate your relationships. Crisis has a way of revealing the true nature of the people around you. Some who once appeared close may distance themselves. Others you least expected may step up with genuine care and support. Pay attention to who listens when you speak, who checks on you without being asked, and who remains present without needing anything in return. These are the people worth holding on to. Building a supportive circle also requires you to be intentional. You may need to seek out mentors, join support groups, or invest time in strengthening healthy friendships. You might need to distance yourself from those who constantly complain, spread fear, or drain your energy with negativity. Relationships are environments. In a time of crisis, you must plant yourself in an environment that nurtures growth, not stagnation or destruction. The right people also help carry your vision when your own strength to carry it falters. They see in you what you sometimes forget is there. They believe in your calling when you begin to question it. They don't let you settle for less or shrink in fear. Instead, they pull you higher, not through pressure, but through presence. They remind you that you're not alone in the fight, and that your breakthrough is often just on the other side of not giving up in times of crisis. It's easy to feel as though your dreams are slipping further and further away, like distant stars growing dimmer as the darkness deepens. The pressures of life, whether financial struggles, personal loss, or societal instability, can make your dreams feel like burdens you can no longer bear. But Dr. Myles Munroe always emphasized that your dreams are the seeds of your future, and no matter how hard life gets, you should never, under any circumstances, give up on them. Dreams are not mere wishes or fantasies. They are the divine blueprint of your purpose, the unique calling placed in your heart by your Creator. And while the journey toward realizing those dreams may be long, winding, and fraught with obstacles, the dream itself is unshakable. It is the vision that keeps you moving forward when everything else seems to be falling apart. It's what gives you the courage to face another day, to push through moments of doubt, and to keep your eyes fixed on the prize, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. In tough times, dreams serve as an anchor. They remind you of why you're fighting, of what's worth persevering for. When everything else seems to be crumbling, your dreams are the constants, those things that refuse to be moved, no matter how much the world around you shifts. But to hold on to those dreams, you must fight for them. You must protect them from the discouragement that threatens to steal them away. In moments of despair, when you feel like giving up, remember that the pursuit of your dreams is a journey, not a destination. Every setback, every disappointment, and every hardship you face is part of the process of growth. Without the challenges, the breakthroughs would not be as sweet. Without the valleys, the mountaintop would not be as breathtaking. Never giving up on your dreams means refusing to let temporary circumstances define your permanent potential. Yes, you may face setbacks, financial struggles, failures, and even rejection along the way. But each of these is simply a stepping stone to your eventual success. What defines you is your ability to keep moving forward, even when progress seems slow or invisible. The most successful people are not those who faced no obstacles, but those who chose to keep going despite the obstacles. It's important to remember that dreams are not always realized in the ways you expect. Sometimes your path may not be straight, and your destination may look different from what you initially envisioned. But this does not mean that your dream has failed. It simply means that your dream is evolving and unfolding in ways that are far, far beyond your current in way you are trying to far, far, far grow faster than possible. Trust that your dream is still valid, still worthy, and still very much alive, even when it feels out of reach. Life has a way of shaping and refining dreams. Often the very things that seem like setbacks or detours are actually preparing you for the next level of your destiny. Staying committed to your dreams also means staying committed to your growth. You cannot expect to reach new heights without learning new skills, overcoming new challenges, and changing old habits. During tough times, you may feel like retreating into comfort and familiarity, but growth requires discomfort. Every lesson learned, every challenge faced, and every skill mastered along the way adds value to your journey. The process of becoming the person who can carry your dream is just as important as the dream itself. Moreover, never giving up on your dreams requires resilience. There will be times when you will feel exhausted, discouraged, and ready to quit. But resilience is the ability to bounce back, to get up after each fall, and to keep going even when it seems easier to give up. Your ability to persevere, to stand back up after each disappointment, is what transforms your dreams from ideas into reality. Another vital aspect of holding on to your dreams is staying connected to your why. In moments of discouragement, when your circumstances make it difficult to see any way forward, remember why you started. What was the driving force behind your dream in the first place? What motivated you to begin this journey? Reconnecting with your deeper purpose will reignite the passion and determination you need to keep going. Finally, never giving up on your dreams means maintaining hope. Hope is the fuel that propels you forward, even when the road is hard. It is the belief that tomorrow can be better than today, that your dreams are still possible, and that the best is yet to come. When you lose hope, you lose your ability to push through. But hope is not passive. It's an active force that you must nurture daily. This is where faith comes in, faith in yourself, faith in your abilities, and faith in the process of your growth. No matter how tough things get, hold on to your dream. Trust that your breakthrough is on the horizon, that the storm will pass, and that your perseverance will bring your dream into fruition. Your dreams are too valuable to abandon. They are the blueprint of your purpose, and they have the power to guide you through life's toughest challenges. Keep pressing forward, keep believing, keep dreaming, and above all, never give up. In times of adversity, when the world feels like it's closing in, it's easy to lose sight of your dreams, your purpose, and your strength. But remember, tough times don't last, but tough people do. The keys to surviving and thriving through these challenges are not found in external circumstances, but in the resilience and wisdom you cultivate within. By nurturing your faith, protecting your mind, and surrounding yourself with the right people, you can navigate the storms with courage and conviction. Your dreams, no matter how distant they may seem, are still within reach. With persistence, faith, and a steadfast belief in your purpose, you will not only survive this season, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to fulfill the calling placed on your life. So, as you face challenges ahead, remember, your future is greater than your past, your dreams are more powerful than your fears, and every setback is a setup for a comeback. Stand firm, keep moving forward, and never ever give up on your dreams. Thank you. Uh, uh, Thank you.